Does your photography business name matter? I think it matters a lot, and I'm going to share with you some advice about naming your photography business, or if you're considering renaming your business, you might find this video helpful as well. I'm Jamie from jamiedelanewatson.com, and thank you so much for being here. So there's two different ways you can name your photography business. One is just that, it's a personal name, it's your name. Another would be a company name. So it could be something like Rocks and Pebbles Photography versus June Smith Photography. Now, I think there's pros and cons to both. I'm going to start quickly with the Rocks and Pebbles Photography idea. I would say a big major con is it limits a little bit of your word of mouth marketing potential, because someone goes, oh, I had this amazing photographer, her name was June, and the person goes, oh, great, how can I find her? And you're like, oh, rocksandpebblesphotography.com. When that person walks away from that conversation, are they going to remember your company name? Are they going to remember your domain name? They might not. Whereas if your name is June Smith, they might remember the name June, and then they'll be able to text their friend and say like, oh, I remember it was June, what's the last name, or whatever. There's a bit more brand recognition that way. However, a big pro to naming your company not under your name is it is easier to bring on associate photographers if you are hoping to grow a photography team in the future. It's a lot less confusing to have multiple photographers at June Smith Photography. You're like, oh, I'm Brad from junesmithphotography.com. Oh, okay, interesting, Brad. I'm a bit confused. Whereas if you're from Rocks and Pebbles Photography, it's quite easy to have a couple different first names of photographers listed at that website. So those are a major pro and con. Now, I'm going to talk mainly about naming your photography business with your own name because that's been my experience, and it's what I would recommend in almost every single case that you name under your own name. So you want to name a photography business under your own name. There's still a few decisions you have to make. You can use your first name, your first and middle name, your first and last name. You can also use shortened versions of any part of these names. If you have a really complicated or hard to pronounce last name, perhaps you want to just take the first 4 to 6 letters. You're also going to want to pay attention to how the name flows. Say your name out loud, different versions of your first and middle, your first and last name, and see how this flows in conversation. For me, my name is Jamie Watson now. That's my married name. And it flows, Jamie Delane flows a little bit better than Jamie Watson. I think it's a bit more unique. Delane is my middle name, and I started my company under that name 11 years ago. So Jamie Delane Photography flows a little bit better than Jamie Watson Photography. It's just a little bit easier to say. The other thing you want to check when choosing which version of your name to use is your SEO power. So I know that if I type Jamie Watson into Google, it brings up a celebrity. I think it's Jamie Lynn Spears' husband? I'm not really sure. It brings up a celebrity that is not me. Jamie Watson is way too common. It doesn't work well for my business. Jamie Delane, however, that whole first page, the whole first 15 pages are just going to be me because it's a unique name. So I really want you to do some research into that as well. How does it flow off the tongue, and how does it work in the search engines as well, and see how that works for you. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope it gives you a bit more clarity if you're just starting to choose your photography name. And I also want to encourage you, if you're a few years into business and you had a name that you're not really thrilled about, it's not too late to change. I think that's the thing with company names like Rocks and Pebbles. I don't know why I keep saying that, but that's just the made-up name I made up. People know you as June from Rocks and Pebbles anyway. So to switch to just June Smith Photography is not really going to be that difficult for you because people don't call you Rocks and Pebbles when they meet you. They don't introduce you as that. They introduce you as your name. So if you do want to make that switch, it can honestly be as easy as a new logo and a new domain name and forwarding your old one to your new one, and it's absolutely not too late. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and leave a comment below. I would love to hear more from you.